We're here at the Donald Lee Conventional Center and we're at the MuscleCars and Corvette Nationals. Please enjoy the next video.
Well, yes, this is the last Buick Grand National that was made. Pretty much an icon of the 80s.
Personally, as you see the car today,
it's a driver car.
The paint is just beautiful on this car.
It's just an awesome engine.
Drive those GM cars.
Well, there is something I wanted to. They're coming out with that new ZR1 Corvette.
The handling, the braking, the power is just phenomenal.
The last car at the end of the line, culminating 64 years of automotive production at the plant. It's truly a one-of-a-kind car.
Wow.
It's a daily driver. We drive it all the time.
Well, it sits very well.
But to get a convertible in this color was extremely hard to get.
no, I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
We trailered it out here from Massachusetts, 18-hour ride. This is our first time here at the Chicago show.
With cars, I love them, enjoy them, and I guess I'll always do it until the day I die.
You won't see anything that's this color, and I think that's what makes the car pop.
The color is called grabber yellow. It was actually a special color for 69 Shelby.
So I spent 7 years working on it and about 1,600 hours.
And what you're looking at here, Paulette, is our tribute car to Carroll Shelby.
Welcome to US Classic Muscle Cars. Today we are here at the Donald Lee Convention Center, and today I'm here with Jason from the HotRod Barn. Now Jason, can you tell us about what the HotRod Barn is?
Sure. So the HotRod Barn, we're a custom car builder located about 45 minutes outside of Chicago. So we're involved in classic car restoration and modernizing. And the specifics in terms of what the shop is doing, we do custom body work and paint work and fiberglass work. We also do mechanical work, fabrication, electrical, and the theme of the cars that we're building is either traditional period correct restorations to kind of pro street builds, and one of the cars that is behind you now is like a highly modified resto mod Corvette. So we've got a fairly comprehensive shop building some really fun things.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, can you tell me a little bit more about the car that you have here?
Sure. So we brought 3 cars to the show this weekend, one of which is a 65 Corvette. We also brought a 1960 Chevy Brookwood, which is a 2-door station wagon. And then the third car that we brought is a 1966 Mustang, kind of pro street theme. So the first car that we're looking at is the 1965 Corvette. We had this at SEMA just a weeks ago rather. So this car is highly modified. It has custom, highly modified engine, driveline, chassis, etc. But starting with the most visible that we're looking at now is it's obviously a convertible. The color is Gallant Gray. So our paint provider is Axalta. So this is a unique Axalta color. It's the Gallant Gray with an electric blue stinger. And as you look at the gray itself, you'll see a lot of highlights and lowlights. And what's really interesting and unique about this paint is the flake is actually glass, and it's a glass which is blue. So it gives off a shimmer that has different tones that go between the gray and the blue family. So under these lights, it's got a real shimmering, nice effect. So we went with that Gallant Gray on the primary body color. And then with the hood is off of a 1967 Corvette big block hood, and the hood color, that electric blue stinger, we've woven that throughout the rest of the car, such as the brake calipers were painted in electric blue, and then the custom interior has some blue themes throughout.
Now, did you add any clear coats to this car?
So this is a base coat, clear coat finish that's a solvent-based product. So this has a total of 5 clear coats on it. After those clear coats have been applied, it's been color sanded, flat, buffed and polished to this high sheen.
Tell me a little bit more about the rims and the wheels.
So the rims are a Bose forged a Bose wheel that is all custom billet aluminum. So they have a satin black center with a polished aluminum hoop, and that black and polish combination is also woven throughout the car. So it blends into the side pipe covers, which also have the black and polished tone, and then the convertible top itself has it's a black canvas that kind of goes with that black theme as well. So as we're looking at the rims, the Bose rims, you'll also see the Willwood brake calipers. So the braking system is oversized, 6-piston calipers in the front, 4-piston calipers in the rear, but a big 13-inch rotor in front and rear to make it stop really, really well.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the engine of the car?
Sure. So the engine, this is the LT4 dry sump supercharged Corvette engine, which is also in the 2017 Corvette. So this particular engine, so we installed this in the custom tubular chassis, but it's a dry sump motor. So the oil tank is actually, the oil is held primarily outside of the engine. So underneath the passenger fender is where most of the oil capacity is being held. It's a supercharged engine, so it has its own intercooler system. So that intercooler reservoir is now tucked underneath the driver's side fender. So we've tried to clean up the engine compartment as best we could, hide unnecessary things, make it really clean. One of the other things that we did within the engine compartment is the coil packs. So the coil packs that were previously on top of the valve cover, we relocated those to the firewall. So the area where you would normally have the windshield wiper motor, we've tucked those coil packs up high in that area. So the engine itself is not stock. It's been modified as well. So it has an aftermarket camshaft, Brian Tooley Racing camshaft, more boost. So in terms of horsepower for this particular engine, we're about 850 horsepower for this dry sump LT4 that's been modified. So coupled to the LT4 is a Trebek 6-speed transmission. So it's the Super Magnum, so a heavy-duty transmission. We had to make some modifications to the transmission tunnel in order to get that to fit. But it's a very powerful engine that fits extremely well within this chassis and within this engine compartment, and it's just a blast to drive. It's really a lot of fun. So that's what we have going on in the engine compartment. We've got an oversized intercooler that's kind of tucked up in front of the radiator. Within the engine compartment, it also has air conditioning and heating by Vintage Air. So it's a Vintage Air system tucked up underneath the dash to give us some more space in the engine compartment, yet still be nice and clean. So some of the other things that we did from a customization standpoint is around the body, some of the badging has been modified to look somewhat period correct, but to have some tribute to the engine that we put in. So the badging looks like a big block Chevy badging on the fenders, but it's been customized to say LT4 supercharged. So all custom billet that's been chromed and enameled. We've also done some similar things to the badging on the tail or the rear of the car. So moving on to the interior, if we go to the interior, so this interior, the seats are out of the C7 Corvette. So this particular customer, so it's a customer's build. So he was very interested in having C7 Corvette seats. So we found these C7 Corvette seats, which are normally about 10 inches taller. We've modified those seat frames, which are made out of magnesium. So we cut down the seat frames, re-welded the magnesium, and then had the upholsterer stitch up the interior. So the interior theme has been all custom black leather with that blue stitching that now ties into the Blue Stinger hood. So the dash itself is the whole dash area. The customer wanted to be looking semi-period correct. So we've done that, but made it all new and modern. So the gauges look vintage and original, but they're all digital, custom colored. So the gauges, the clock is all digital and custom colored. The radio looks semi-period correct. That's all Bluetooth and modern. So we tried to add a number of modern features, not only in the engine compartment, but throughout the interior, throughout the whole car, that some of which are more subtle than others. The engine is not so subtle, but within the interior, those modernizations we tried to make more subtle.
How is the car to drive?
Amazing. This car handles so incredibly well with this chassis. So it's on a tubular chassis, SR3 chassis. The front suspension is all C6 suspension, so the upper and lower control arms are C6. The spindles are C6. The shocks on all four corners are all coilover shocks. So the handling, the braking, the power is just phenomenal. So with that 850 horsepower in a fiberglass convertible on a chassis that can handle that type of power, it's pretty incredible to drive. And these seats, they're bolstered so well that it feels comfortable to drive this vehicle as well. So we're really pleased with the way that the build turned out. A fun car that has a lot of features that will make it a real blast to drive.
Yeah. Very beautiful car as well.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share and like our videos.
I'm taking a break. Please enjoy the next video.